Well, welcome back to another Bishnow Ballistics video. On the back of our most recent video where we talked about whether your zero is right or not for your scope, today we're going to talk about the different types of scopes that you can purchase. Now, I'm not going to cover everything. I'm just going to cover, let's say you're standing at the counter, you're looking at a few, and you're trying to decide what's best for you. There's really three kinds that we're going to dive into today. I really wanted to cover this because I've been refining my load development lately, and as I look at dialing out to distance, it has become clearly apparent that there is a winner, in my opinion, on precise long range shooting. All right, so let's dive in. What is a minute of angle anyway? I'm going to give you the really quick and dirty for each one of these, and then we're going to talk about the three different types of scopes. So I'll put a graphic up here on the screen that I found online. I think it came from Reddit, but this is 1 minute of angle. Now, you can pause here and sort of read the graphic if you want to. I'm going to cover it briefly, and then we're going to jump into what a milliradian is. In short, at 100 yards, 1 MOA is about 1 inch. That's plus or minus a little bit. You see the measurement there at 100 yards is about 1.05 inches. But you can extrapolate that out to further distances. So, for example, at 200 yards, it's 2.1. At 300 yards, it's 3.14. At 350, 3.67, 400, and so on. Now I'm going to pull up a graphic for a milliradian here on the screen, and it's actually going to include both mils and MOA, but it's going to give you a good comparison of both of them and how precise they are. And one thing that I want to draw your attention to is as you begin to look at the distances, so for example, when you're comparing 1/4 MOA to 1/10 of a mil, you'll notice number one, it is 1/10 of a mil as opposed to 1/4 of a minute. That makes mils a little more precise when it comes to dialing. So at 100 yards, 1/10 of a mil, meaning one click on your turret, is not 1/4 inch, 1/10 of a mil, and that equals 0.36 inches. And we're going to extrapolate that out. So let's jump out to 500 yards. Now at 500 yards, your mil dials are 1 mil means 18 inches, meaning you're dialing much further up and down. So when we go out to 1,000 yards, you can see 1 minute is 10.5 inches, whereas 1 mil is 36 inches. So when we're looking to dial out to distance, it matters how many revolutions your scope turret has in it. Minutes of angle are a little bit less precise when it comes to dialing at distance, meaning you're working on 4 clicks as opposed to 10 clicks in the simplest way. So 1 MOA, 10 clicks, you can get your dials a little bit more precise, whereas when you're working with something like a minute of angle, you're working a little less precise with 1/4 click in 1 minute. Now we can see on the graph there that those distances are pretty similar when it comes to how far your clicks are out in terms of your dial. So let's pop up another graphic here. Let's take a look at MOA versus MRADs or milliradian. The drop table output, for example, in the top part shows information in both bullet drops in MOA and bullet drops in MRAD. Meaning if you look at the bullet drop in inches, you can track how far that bullet is dropping. So let's just start with 500 yards because I think that's where we really start to get out to. These are distances that we're going to have to dial out for if you want to keep your crosshairs right up and down on the target you're shooting. So at 500 yards, we're dropping 68 inches, and that is equal to, in this graph, this is for a 308 or 762 by 51. This is equal to 34 clicks in MRAD, or 3.4 MRADs. So again, whatever your MRAD clicks are, divide by 10. 34 clicks is equal to 3.4 MRADs. With minutes of angle, that's a little bit different. So you can see in the second column from the end there, at 500 yards, our bullet drop in MOA is 11.75 MOA or 11.75, and that's equal to 47 clicks. So we're going out substantially further in terms of what the available revolutions are on our scope turrets. Let's take that out to 1,000 yards. You can see we're dropping 528 inches, which is equal to 13.4 MRADs or 134 clicks. At 1,000 yards in MOA, that's 46 minutes of angle and 184 clicks, meaning that's an additional 50 clicks you're going to have to try and get out of your turret. Here's where I think MRADs might win for two reasons. The reticles in MRAD scopes often include those little Christmas trees that you might be used to seeing, and those Christmas trees add additional MRADs to your revolution. So whatever you have today versus in addition to your scope holdovers. With MOA, you don't always see that. It's not that they don't exist. Oftentimes we have hash marks in the scope, but with MRAD, it's a little more precise. They're usually quite well labeled. And so it's easier for us to, if we get all the way out in our scope, add additional MRADs when you're looking to hold over for a target. Now, that's not always true, but it is helpful when you're looking to shoot at distance. The other thing you have to think about it, thousands of yards is wind drift. You're going to have some of that. Especially when you're shooting slower bullets like a 7.62 by 51, for example. So consider that when you're shooting. So We've talked a little bit about MOA versus MILs and how to look at them. We've talked a little bit about the distances and the dial differences between them. Now let's talk about the three different types of scopes that you can get. Scope number one, turretless. This is the most common for hunting scopes, where you don't have a dial out turret. You just get your windage and elevation that's capped, and then you can go in and dial it out for whatever you need, zero your rifle at the distance that you'd like, and you're all set. So second type of scope that you're going to see, and again, I think the second most common is MOA. MOA scopes are incredibly common, especially because it's so easy to convert from an MOA dial to an MOA dial from a turretless scope. Again, very common to see turretless scopes on the market. And when you're looking at dialing at distances, MOA is the thing that is the most easily convertible, because most people are really used to it in the turretless scope design already. They're used to shooting their granddad's hunting rifle with the scope that's been on it, like a Loophole that's been on that thing since Loophole was invented. So it's very easy, super easy to make those adjustments. And when you're thinking in short distances, if we're not shooting above 400 yards, the dials out for that are pretty intuitive. Again, you're talking usually less than 8 MOA when you're shooting at those kinds of distances. In my experience, it's less than 10. I shot a deer at 430 yards this past year with a 6.5 Creedmoor, and it was a perfect shot, double lunged her. She laid down, didn't get back up. But it was very easy for me to dial that 8.25 clicks to get out there, 8.25 MOA to get out to that distance, because it made sense to me. Again, I could see that. I had my dope pulled up, so I knew exactly where to go. I was tracking super easily. Now, here's where I think MILs might win. MILs are a little bit finer of a dialing distance. So it's better for long range shooters when you're looking to get more precise. So in the example that I talked about shooting that deer at 430 yards, the real dial was like 8.32 MOA. Now, 8.32 MOA, like we've talked about, is not possible to be precise with. I had to dial to 8.25 and hold up just a little bit in order to account for some of the bullet drop that I was going to get between that 8.25 and 8.5 dial. It's sort of picking the lesser of two evils when you're looking at MOA from that perspective. Now, when you have a milliradian scope, it's easier for you to dial out to that distance because you're talking in 1/10 increments versus 1/4 increments. So it's a little more fine of a dial than it is with MOA. The number one consideration you need to have is, can you do that? Can you physically do that? The number two consideration that you need to make is, can your bullet do that? And the number three consideration is, do you have the ability to do it? Which is beyond, can you do it? Can you dial out that far? I don't love holdovers for those distances. If I'm just looking through a scope, it's hard to quantify 36 inches at 400 yards. And so I want to be as precise as possible. I know exactly where that bullet's going to hit, and that's what I want to focus on. So if you're asking me which one would I choose, having the knowledge that I have today and doing some of the research that I've done recently, I think I'd choose MILs. And I think that's largely a personal preference. So again, choose what you want. But here's why I would choose MILs. Specifically, I like the fine dialing distance. So if I wanted to be really specific about how far out I'm dialing, then I want to identify the most fine adjustment that I can make to get me as close to that distance as possible. That way I can just utilize the crosshairs that I already have. I don't have to worry about floating my crosshairs up or down. One of the scopes that I have is a really nice Loophole VX Freedom scope. I think it's a VX5 or a VX6, and it has sort of fat crosshairs in it. With MILs, I'm going to get a little bit finer of an adjustment because I'm going to have those holdovers in the scope if I need to utilize them. But from the other perspective, if I don't need to utilize them because I have a more precise dial, then that's sort of a moot point. So here's what I'll say in summary. I think either is fine. You can do great things with both of them, but consistency matters the most. We talked about making sure that you have the ability to do that. Can you shoot that far? Are you consistent at that distance? We've talked about, can your bullet do it at that far? And here's the thing to think about. Does your bullet have the energy that it needs to have at that distance to expand reliably? And then the third thing that I think that we need to focus on is, can your equipment do that? Can you dial out that far? Can you reliably get a good cheek weld on your firearm? But overall, what this boils down to is simply consistency. Go out to the range, test your ability to make those shots. Go to 400 yards, dial out, shoot at a paper plate at 400 yards if you have the range to do it. So here's my question to you. Which one do you use and why? Again, I think either of them are fine. What matters most is your consistency. So I'd love to get your feedback on what you're utilizing and why you're utilizing it. If you haven't already seen it, go back and watch the what distance to zero your rifle at video. This was a really great one where we talked through what you should choose in terms of zeroing distance and why it matters. We're going to add these to the rifle setup playlist. There's some really great stuff coming for this in the new year where I'm going to break down my rifles and we are going to accurize them as much as possible. And the number one that we're going to start with is that Bergara 308 that we've been having problems with. So good luck to everybody whose rifle season opened last weekend. Good luck to everybody who is going out this weekend and this season. I'm super stoked. We finished up load development on a couple of rifles a couple of days ago, and we got some really, really good stuff to talk about. So ultimately, thank you for watching. Let me know what you're doing down below. Give it a like and a share with a friend, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. See ya.